students. This is Mrs. Malin from the Draper T campus, and today we are going to read and learn about a poem called Monday's Child is Fair of Face. You can find this in the poetry section of your blue spiral. The first thing we're going to talk about are idioms. What are we talking about, class? Get ready. Idioms. Yes, idioms. An idiom is a phrase that can't necessarily be interpreted literally. It cannot be interpreted. What, class? Get ready. Literally. The group of words together sometimes have a very different meaning than the individual words. For instance, it's raining cats and dogs. Let's look at this picture over on the lower left-hand side of your screen. It shows a picture of it raining cats and dogs. You see people with their umbrellas flying everywhere and cats and dogs flying all over them. But is it really raining cats and dogs? Does that make sense? Have you ever heard anyone say that during a big storm? It's raining cats and dogs. It probably does not make sense. This is an idiom. What's that word, class? Get ready. Idiom. Yes, idiom. So it means it's raining very heavily. It's not really raining cats and dogs. I don't see golden retrievers and chihuahuas and orange cats and brown cats falling out of the sky. It's just heavy rain. So let's do another one. I have a story for you. I was in line at a small donut shop in Hawaii when I saw a friend of mine who lived in Texas, and she said, "Wow, it sure is a small world." Now, what makes sense? Is the world small with billions of people? No, it's not small. There are billions of people in this world. It's a large world. What she meant was that she didn't expect to see me at a tiny donut shop in Hawaii when we both lived in other states. So it was unexpected. Here are some other common idioms. Under the weather means to feel sick. So if I'm saying under the weather, what does that mean? Get ready. Feeling sick. Yes, feeling sick. How about this one? It's all Greek to me. Let's see, I'm looking at some really difficult math problems and I just shake my head and say, oh, it's all Greek to me. What I mean there is that it's very difficult to understand. So if I mean that it's very difficult to understand, what idiom might I use, class? Get ready. Yes, it's all Greek to me. How about let the cat out of the bag? That means you've told a secret. So you've let the cat out. You've told the secret. You let the secret out. What about, oh my goodness, that car cost an arm and a leg? What does that mean, class? Read it right there. Get ready. Yes, quite expensive. How about that paper was a piece of cake? When I say that, I might mean that it was very easy. So if I think that something is very easy, what idiom might I use, class? Get ready. Yes, piece of cake. So now I'm going to read for you Monday's Child. This is an English nursery rhyme, and it was written probably before 1838, which is when it was first printed in a book. We think that it might actually date back to about 300 years before that, to about the 1500s. It's often used as a song to help children learn the days of the week. Now, this poem is interesting because it does have a rhyme scheme. What does it have? Get ready. Rhyme scheme. And it's rhyme scheme AABB. And what that means is the first two lines are going to rhyme, then the third and the fourth lines will rhyme, then the fifth and the sixth lines will rhyme, and then the seventh and eighth lines will rhyme. And you'll see that in just a second. So every fourth syllable is accentuated in this poem, and it has a couple of idioms. An interesting fact about this poem is that not only was it used to teach children the days of the week, but it was sometimes used to tell the fortune or the future of the children born on certain days. This is just an old superstition, but it's a fun thing to learn. So we're going to go ahead and read it. Please follow along with me. Monday's Child, author unknown. Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for a living. But the child that is born on the Sabbath day is fair and wise and good and gay. Let's look at how those rhyme. See, look at the first two, faith and grace. Those are both AA. Woe and go are BB. Then you see giving and living, day and gay. So let's break down each verse and find out what it means. Fair of face. Another way of saying attractive or nice looking. So Monday's child is fair of face. They thought that any child that was born on a Monday would be attractive or nice looking. And that, friends, is an idiom. This is in the Fairfax Dictionary of Idioms, and it's one that's well known. It means something, it says something a little bit different than it actually means. You're not able to exactly get the meaning just by reading fair of face, unless you already had those prior inferences. Let's look at full of grace. Tuesday's child is full of grace. That is faithful, elegant, polite, or refined. That would mean that Tuesday's child would have grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. That's not supposed to be a negative thing. This is a positive thing. Wednesday's child was considered compassionate or empathetic, often sad for others. So someone who would mourn with you. If you were sad, Wednesday's child would be sad as well. Thursday's child has far to go. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Thursday's child has a long journey ahead, like they're not going all across the world or across the country. What it means is Thursday's child would have a long, successful life ahead. Friday's child is loving and giving. That one is self-explanatory and not an idiom. That would be generous and kind-hearted. Saturday's child works hard for a living. This is also one that's pretty self-explanatory. Saturday's child would be hardworking, responsible, and dedicated. But the child that is born on the Sabbath day, and that would be Sunday, because traditionally in English countries, the Sabbath was on Sunday. But the child that is born on the Sabbath day is fair and wise and good and gay. So that would be happy, and they show good judgment. Gay is another word for happy. You guys are all amazing. So now you've got an assignment. I want you to go take the quiz and spend some time reading Monday's Child and see if you can memorize it. Thanks so much.